All right, hey girls, thanks for coming to the meeting today. I got something kind of important for you. While you're out here doing your cow thing, I need you to be really extra careful. You know, no accidents and stuff like that. I don't know if you're aware or not, but in the last year or so, you Highlands have gotten crazy expensive. And if something happens to any of you, I don't want to dish out the money to replace any of you. Also, if you could just have all heifer babies, that'd be really good for my checkbook, okay? So I'll let you get back to doing your grazing and stuff. Just remember, heifer babies, super careful. Okay, that's all. Good meeting. Hey guys, it's Rhett from the 100 Acre Wood Highlands. A year or so ago, I put out a video called How Much Does a Highland Cow Cost, or How Much is a Highland Cow Worth? And that was a really difficult video to make because prices on these things change all the time, and there's a lot of different variables and factors that go into figuring out what is a Highland cow cost and what should you pay for one. But I did that video based off of a couple of different things. One, what I had paid to purchase my own cows. Two, what I had sold some of my own cows to other people for. And three, what I could find cow prices for online. And since then, prices have gone through the roof, especially in the American Highland Cattle Association registered cows, and at auction prices, things have really gone up. And so I wanted to do a video a little bit to talk about what are some of the prices of cows that have been going recently in 2020 and 2021. What are some of the things that maybe drive those costs, and what should you look for whenever you're considering purchasing your own Highland cows? If this is your first time finding our videos, please subscribe to our channel. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram by searching for 100 Acre Wood Highlands. Let's check it out. So if you watched my video where I talked about what I'd paid for Highland cows, the prices I felt like were kind of reasonable. I purchased some unregistered bred cows for kind of that $1,500 to $1,800 range, and they had calves within a few months. And I purchased my first two registered heifers, Moose and Pepper, which are over in a different field, for $1,500 a piece. I felt like that was a little bit more expensive than what I'd been buying before, but they were younger. It was going to take them longer to get to that age where they could breed, and they were registered. The most expensive heifer I purchased was Emporia, and we purchased her online through a service called Cow Match, and we drove quite a ways to go get her. She came from a farm in Minnesota, and that was the most expensive one that I had purchased at that time. I recently have bid on like 3 different heifers online on Highland auctions, and I'm not going to share exactly how far I bid up to, but I didn't win. And those heifers went for a little over $7,000 a piece for heifers. So 6-7 month old cows that are, you know, they're not gonna have their own babies to be able to even be able to be bred until they're 2 years old. But prices have definitely gone up. And so that's good and bad. It's great for the people who've got registered stock and others that are selling them. They're making a good profit right now. It's tough for people who are just wanting to get in or wanting to grow their herd, because you know, nobody wants to just have 1 or 2 cows, and a lot of people can't afford to spend, you know, $20,000 to go out and buy several. So why the increase? Why the cost so high? There's a lot of different things that could determine that. One of the biggest things that I think that increases the price is selling things at auctions. So auction prices are just supply and demand. And right now it seems like, especially for in our area where I'm at in Oklahoma, it's kind of tough to find registered heifers for sale. It seems like there's a lot of them up north in that Minnesota, Nebraska, Kansas, Montana kind of area, but not a ton way down in Texas, Oklahoma, you know, Arkansas, Missouri. And so these auctions typically have been in-person auctions, and I think because of COVID, a lot of them have gone to online auctions where it's opened it up to anybody anywhere in the country to bid on these things, and people want them. There's a big demand for Highland cows right now, and limited supply. Maybe there's only 20 or so cows available, and people from all over the country could bid. Prices have gone up. There was a few years ago, I was at a estate sale auction. They were having like farm equipment and home stuff at this estate sale, and they were selling rocking chairs. And I will always remember this because the rocking chairs that were at the auction were identical to a rocking chair that I had purchased from Tractor Supply just a few weeks before. And when I bought it, it was brand new and it cost like 80 bucks in the box, had to assemble it yourself. These ones at the auction end up went for like 150 bucks just because people really wanted them, and there was a lot of competition at this auction and the prices just went way over value. Now that doesn't mean that if you bid $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, $10, $25,000 on this heifer that it's overvalued. It may be the right price for that animal, but why do you want to spend that much money? One of the reasons why is that American Highland Cattle Association registered cows have a pedigree that goes back for decades. They go back over 70 years, and some of those cows can trace their pedigree even further back than that 70 years. So there is a lot of benefit. You can look and see what kind of genetics are you getting. Is this one that's got a dam or a sire that was a national championship winner? Are these super rare bloodlines that you're trying to improve your herd? Sometimes there is great reasons to bid high amounts of money on a cows, and sometimes there's not. Look at these cute calves. I've done some videos on how Highlands can be different colors. This little calf that's walking away is one of our white heifers, and other than her color, there's nothing particularly special about her. She's unregistered. She was one of White Walker's last calves that we kept, and I wanted to keep her because she's white. But just because she's white doesn't make her more valuable. Just because Moose and Pepper are black and dun doesn't necessarily make them more valuable. A lot of people will pay more for that color because it's less common than a red colored or a yellow colored cow, but just because a cow is silver or white or dun or black doesn't make it more or less valuable than a red or a yellow one. Age is another thing that affects a cow's price. Lots and lots of people that have been bidding these high amounts of money on cows have been buying the heifers, where sometimes a bred cow that's bred to another registered animal, where you're going to have that animal, it's going to have a baby soon, and you don't really have to wait all that long to breed her back again, may end up being the better deal. Usually there's less of those available than the young heifers. Another thing that can drive up cost is whether that animal is show quality and halter trained or not. So I have 3 right now that have had halters on them. I have not done the greatest job in the world of keeping practice with them on halters, but they'll at least let me come up to them and slip that halter over them and lead them around a little bit, especially if I've got them distracted with some feed. But if it's a show quality animal that's already had a lot of work done with it, or it's already been showed some, there's more value to that. So just like with a lot of other things this past year, since COVID has kind of got behind us, prices have gone up. Lumber, houses, land, cars, everything is just gone up and up and up. But I want to share with you the price difference between 2019, 2020, and 2021 with some Highlands that are American Highland Cattle Association registered cows through the North Central Association. In 2019, at this particular association's auction, the highest selling cow-calf pair went for $5,100. Gonna get 2 cows out of this cow-calf pair, $5,100. The average sale price was $2,400 bucks, with the average female being $2,511, average bull $1,820. That was about what I was paying for cows, even the registered or unregistered ones, when I first got into Highlands. Let's speed forward to 2020. I bought some cows in 2020, not as many as I would have liked, but prices went up. The high selling cow-calf pair that year went for $6,250 bucks. The high selling heifer was $7,250. The average sale price was a little over $3,000. Females were $3,173 on average, and males were $2,788 on average. Go forward to 2021. This was the early auction in March of this year. I bid on some animals in this auction, and I'm not going to tell you exactly how much I bid, but I got outbid. But it was an adrenaline rush to watch this auction because things were just going through the roof. The high selling bred cow sold for $25,000. The high selling heifer went for $9,250 bucks. The average sale price across the board was $57.65. Average female $64. Average male $24. And then just most recently was the auction that just took place here in June 2021. Prices weren't as high as they were back in March, but who knows what could contribute to that. The highest selling cow-calf pair on that was $10,250. The highest selling heifer was $6,850. The average sale price was $5,221. Average female $61, average male $26.57. So just in a short couple of years there, prices really increased. And I had somebody reach out to me on Facebook and ask, you know, we're thinking about buying some cows. We've been watching these prices. Is this a bubble? Or are prices gonna continue to remain this high? Are they gonna go back down? And that is super difficult to answer. I wish I knew the answer, because if I did know the answer, I would be making a bunch of money. But I don't know the answer. But just like a lot of other stuff, things change over time, and it's okay to spend money when it's on quality. When it's a registered animal that comes from a registry that can be traced back for decades, that has championship bloodlines in it, or bloodlines from Scotland or Canada or other areas that you're trying to improve a specific characteristic in your fold, sometimes it can be worth spending more money. Another thing that's sometimes okay to spend extra money on is a very high quality bull, because that bull is going to be passing on its genetics to all the calves that are born on your farm as long as you've got it. And so it makes up a huge part of your fold. So sometimes it makes sense to spend the extra money to get a quality bull for your herd. If you're going to show these animals, if you want them well worked with and trained on a halter, it can be worth more money to spend a little bit to get some that's had some training rather than to try to do it all yourself. Another thing that we've done to try to help with the cost is we are trying to do embryo transfer this year. I did a video on this a little while back, but I was able to find embryos, some that are sex sorted and some that are not, for under $1,000. I found some that were 800 bucks that were unsorted. The ones that were sex sorted were more expensive than $1,000, but you have about a 90% accuracy to get a heifer in this case. And so, you know, $800 is a lot less expensive than buying a $6,000 heifer, even with only about a 50% success rate. So that's something that we're trying to do to help improve our numbers here on the farm, especially our registered numbers. Yes, it's going to take more time to get them up to the right age. Yes, it's going to cost some money to take them to the vet and get that embryo placed inside of them. Yes, we've got to store those embryos and we got to transfer them and all these other variables, but that's something that we're willing to take a try with before I'm going to spend $7,000 on a heifer. Now, when it comes time for us to sell some of our registered babies, I hope the prices are still up there, but they may not be. Just like everything else, they fluctuate over time. So when you're looking for your registered animals, do your homework, figure out what you want, what you're willing to pay a premium for, and do your homework to find out where can you buy those from. Because there are auctions that are online, like through the associations or Cow Match, and there's private treaty where you can find other individual farms that are willing to sell you directly. So guys, I hope this was helpful. Maybe in a few years, if the prices have changed, I'll do another one of these and see what are the prices going for at that time. Pretty regularly, I see people asking on Facebook and social media, you know, what is a cow worth? And I kind of hesitate even putting a video like this out there because prices are going to change tomorrow. They're going to change no matter where you are in the country, but at least this gives you an idea of where they are right now in 2021. Thanks for watching, guys. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram by searching for 100 Acre Wood Highlands. We'll see you next time.